Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. Peace and blessings on all of you, my beloved fellow travelers of this journey. I'm going to focus on a few key areas that may be useful for you to have in mind while providing support over the phone. Whether you're a trained chaplain, a leader in your masjid or congregation, a volunteer for any institution, or even providing support to your own friends and family in the community, telephone conversations have become more important than ever in this time where we cannot connect in person at the masajid, at the hospital, or even visit each other's homes. I'll divide the preparation for Tele-Support into 5 main areas: before the call, the introduction, the main conversation itself, exiting the call, and after the call. So before the call, let's set the stage a little bit. Create a space for yourself that is quiet, comfortable, calming, and helps you to center yourself for the call. And make du'a. Pray. Ask Allah to help both you and the person you're calling to have a meaningful and healing connection. Secondly, stay focused. While on the call, no multitasking with reading emails or books or checking your phone, no background TV, definitely no doing laundry and making a sandwich. Just focus your attention on yourself and the person that you're talking to. Next, the introduction. Introduce yourself and your organization. Check and make sure you get the name of the person right and if it's who you're looking to speak to. State the purpose of your call briefly and ask if it's a good time to speak for a few minutes or if you should call back later. Give them options. Don't let them feel like they have no choice but to talk to you if they're not ready or they're not available. Now we go into the main conversation with 7 points. First, personalize the conversation as much as you can. If you're doing this in an official capacity for an organization, have your team develop a simple script as a go-to base for consistency, but adapt it to your own natural, authentic style and to the person's specific situation. And use the person's name often throughout the call so it feels more personal to them. Voice. Point number 2. Be aware and be sensitive of the tone of your voice, the speed of your voice, and the volume of your voice. Not too chirpy sounding if you notice the person is kind of low and heavy, and vice versa. Try to balance and match where the person is at. I find it helpful to imagine that I'm on a slow walk with them and maintain an emotional pace where I can remain side by side throughout the conversation. Third, nonverbal communication is still very important. I try to be aware of my posture, my facial expressions, my body language, my smile. Those still impact my voice and can come across to the receiver. As much as I can, I embody a calm, compassionate presence. 4. Empathy. Convey your concern and empathy authentically. Don't overdo it till it sounds fake, but don't be too harsh and too dismissive either. It's really about the balance. 5th, verbal responses. All your nodding and your smiling and your frowning will not come across on the phone, so try to use your voice more. I respond with wow, really, I hear you, things like that. So the person knows I'm alive, present, and really listening to them. 6. When I sense some heaviness on the end of the line, but maybe I'm not too sure, I may try open-ended phrases like, I sense something troubling you or disturbing you, or I'm sensing some sadness, some worry, frustration, relief, anger, whatever it is that you're sensing, and then give them the space to speak. Remain silent for a while and just give them the space to speak. 7th, praying or making du'a. Instead of saying, I'll keep you in my prayer, I'll pray for you, offer to pray together with the person over the phone. Just a few days ago, I provided support to a mother who had lost her adult son unexpectedly at our hospital, and she was 1,000 miles away. Intentionally praying together over the phone was a powerful part of our conversation, and something she found meaningful and deeply appreciated. So now, how do we exit the call graciously? We affirm and recap a little bit of what the person has said. We discuss specific action plans or other resources that we can connect them with. And thirdly, we thank them and ask if a follow-up conversation may be useful. Maybe give them a phone number they can reach, whatever the procedure may be for you. And finally, what happens after the call? If you're doing this in an official capacity, you may need to capture notes for follow-up phone calls or charting purposes. Keep in mind, of course, whatever confidentiality rules that your organization has. And secondly, take a moment to reflect and just breathe, stretch, or relax a bit. Deep listening is hard work, so take a little bit of time for your own self-care before you continue with another call. One last thought briefly. What if the person we're speaking to is very weak and may not be able to talk much? This happens a lot with me in the hospital with patients in the intensive care unit. And it feels much easier if I can be by their side and they can see my face and I can hold their hand, or they can hold my hand and I can whisper into their ears. But with the current situation, more and more visits have to be done over the phone, even for ICU patients. So in this case, try to get help from somebody that's present in the patient's room, maybe the nurse who can hold up the phone to the patient. Acknowledge to the patient that you know their limited ability to communicate and assure that you're still there to support them. I'm sorry, I know you can't respond to me, and it's okay. And you don't have to speak if you're weak or tired. I am still here to support you. Focus on supportive words. Things like, you're not alone. I'm here with you. I'm so sorry you're going through this now. Use whatever you know of their specific religious and spiritual tradition. Recite the Quran, maybe specific prayers and Duaa for them, calming words of motivation and poetry. And finally, connect to and support the patient's caregivers and their loved ones as well. Sometimes calling family members and sharing with them that you have supported their sick loved ones can be very meaningful and assuring. Before I end, I want to affirm that this is hard and it can be really awkward, especially if you're calling people that you don't know. But it's really important and really meaningful. I recommend that all chaplains or volunteers or asatiza who are providing phone support have some training and practicing period where you ask your peers or your supervisors to listen in on how you handle calls and give you feedback. It's really hard to know our own bad habits unless an objective observer, is giving feedback to us. So keep practicing and get support, and you can do this. And believe in the healing power of human connection, of deep listening, of the love between our souls across any barrier. May Allah accept our efforts in providing support to those who are in need and to each other. And may we continue sharing the gift of our compassionate presence. Jazakumullahu khairan, kathiran. Thank you.